The 4-2-2 is possibly the most fun, most well-rounded and most balanced formation on FC24. You have got everything. 2 CDMs, 2 kind of like more wider cams that can win the ball back, as you do see my Heung-min Son working there. 2 CDMs again, which does make us more defensively solid. And of course the 2 strikers, which is kind of a bit of an underrated aspect on FC24, because it's really nice to actually have a formation that does actually have 2 strikers. So in today's video, I'm going to show you the best FC24 4-2-2 custom tactics you should use. Let's get into it. For your cheapest and most reliable place to buy FC24 coins, check out mmoexp.com. Remember to use the code WOLF at the checkout for a massive 5% off your order. Link is down in the description below, especially with Team of the Season now. You are going to want to use balanced on the defensive style. Me personally, YouTube, I would stay well away from press after possession loss and pressure on heavy touch. Pressure on heavy touch was the one that I did think could be good and a viable option, but when I have been trying it out tonight, I kind of don't like it, and it does drain your stamina way too much for my liking, YouTube. So me personally, I like to play on a balanced style where your team presses the ball to the middle of the pitch and your team shape is neutral. I just much prefer that. Very simply, I just kind of like to be in control of where and when my team presses the ball. I don't really feel it necessary to have that automatic press, and I think the press now isn't worth the kind of like the layoff in terms of how much it then does drain your stamina. So that's why, YouTube, I'm using balanced on the defensive style. The defensive width, though, there are 2 options you can use with this. Option number 1 isn't the option that I'm using, but over my testing over the last few days is an option that is good. That is actually just leaving the defensive width only on 45. Yes, 45. They are a little bit more narrow when you use it. I like it, and it is good, but I just think there is another better option. So if you are someone that is struggling defensively and you are conceding a lot of goals, maybe give the 45 defensive width a go. See if you get on with it. You will be more narrow and nice and compact, meaning that you will be harder to break down. But me, YouTube, what I've found to be an absolute game changer, really, in the 4-2-2 is actually only 47 on the defensive width. So we do go ever so slightly more narrow. And when you think about it logically, it does make sense. It means we are narrow. Well, not narrow, but we are a little bit more narrow, nice and compact in the middle of the pitch. And if any of you have watched real life football, when a team is compact in the middle of the pitch, it's really hard to break down. Your opponent or the opposing team will have to use and abuse the wing play to try and break you down, and I don't really think it works that much anymore on FC24. So that's why I'm now using 47 on the defensive width. The defensive depth, again, kind of like with the defensive width, there are 2 options. Option number 1 with the defensive depth, and the option that I don't use, well, I mean, I used to use it so much, but I don't anymore, is the 71 depth. If any of you don't know what the 71 depth does, when we lose the ball, our team will automatically press and automatically offside trap up the pitch. It is very overpowered and very broken. Definitely something I feel like you should use if you really do feel comfortable with your defensive abilities. But for me, and now the defensive depth I'm using is 61. Yes, 61. If any of you have seen my more recent videos, you will know the 61 depth is the defensive depth that I'm using. I absolutely love it. So that's why I'm using 61 depth. We're kind of a little bit more aggressive than the preset 50, but we're kind of like not completely YOLO like we are with the 71 depth, and that's why I absolutely love it. We're kind of like in that happy medium spot. The offense is build up, play, and chance creation. I'm going to spend zero time on this. It is, of course, balance and direct passing. One thing I will say, though, like I've been saying in so many of my videos recently, if you are someone that is struggling to create opportunities, but I don't really think that will be you in the 4-2-2, because the 4-2-2 is so good going forward anyway. But if that is you, if you are someone that is struggling to create opportunities, long ball and direct passing is definitely good and a viable option. So give that a go and see if you like it. But for me, and I would probably say most of the people watching the YouTube video, balanced and direct passing. The offensive width, though, I do go ever so slightly more wide in the 4-2-2. Yes, something I don't really do that often, but I kind of like having my left-sided cam and my right-sided cam a little bit more wider than they are with the preset 4-2-2. So that's why I've gone up from 50 to 53. Yes, so from 50 to 53 on the offensive width. I kind of just want my left-sided cam and my right-sided cam to kind of be in them a little bit ever so slightly more wider positions. I am scoring more goals with it and creating way more opportunities with it, so I'm going to stick with it. The players in the box, I only up it once now from 5 to 6. Very simple, really, YouTube. The more players you have in the box, the more likely you are to score a goal. Honestly, it's so simple when you break it down like that. I can't express to you how simple it is when you just think of it logically like that. The more players in the box, more likely you are to score a goal. I then lower the corners down from 3 and 3 to 2 and 2 just to stop us getting counter-attacked on from our own corners, really. So, custom tactics done. Let's get into the player instructions. Now, you probably already know what both of my strikers are going to be on a Connor Woolf custom tactics video. The strikers on FC24, I've kind of noticed there's only a few things you can have them on, really, that I really think works. And that is very simply, you guessed it, yes, stay central, get in behind, and come back on defense on both the strikers. Honestly, it's so simple when you break it down like that. The stay central, I want my strikers to stay in the central areas of the pitch. Very simple. The getting behind, though, this is something that I absolutely love. I want both, yes, both of my strikers to be making them penetrating runs in behind. I just kind of want it, because I always think, even if we don't play the ball to the striker as they're making the penetrating runs in behind, our opponent has to manually track the runs, because if our opponent doesn't manually track the runs, then we can easily play the ball across. But if my opponent does then manually track the runs, it then leaves a nice big gap for us to exploit in the middle of the pitch. The comeback on defence, though, as always in the 4-2-2, does just make us more defensively solid and close this gap off here in the middle of the pitch. It's very simple when you break it down like that. Something that has now changed in the 4-2-2 for me now, YouTube. I now play with both my left-sided cam and my right-sided cam on both the exact same player instructions. I used to have my left-sided cam on something different to my right-sided cam, but now I kind of like having them both on the same. So both my left-sided cam and my right-sided cam are on comeback on defence. That is just to make us more defensively solid and to defend in a 4-4-2. And then very importantly, get into the box for cross. And that is for both my left-sided cam and my right-sided cam. The get into the box for cross, though, very simple. Like I said with the get into the box for cross on the tactics part of the video, the more players that we have in the box, YouTube, the more likely we are to score a goal. It is so simple when you break it down like that. The left side is CDM. I use this player kind of like a traditional number 6. So this player is a out-and-out CDM number 6. I've got Red Rodri on my account, so think of it like the Rodri role, the Boubacar Kamara role, any traditional number 6 out there, kind of like a destroyer. Fabinho when he was good at Liverpool, you know the vibes. Stay back while attacking and cover centre. I want that left-sided CDM to pretty much win the ball back, but then just give it to our better players when we get the ball. That's kind of all I really want from that left-sided CDM. The right-sided CDM, though, think of this player kind of like more of a box-to-box. So for Aston Villa, the team I support, of course, think of this player like a Douglas Luiz, like an Odegaard, a Declan Rice when he plays in the number 8 for Arsenal. This type of player. So balanced defence, balanced attack and cover centre. So this right-sided CDM will have the licence to get forward, and you will notice in this 4-2-2 that I'm using, the right-sided CDM will get a lot of goals and a lot of assists for you. I then now, YouTube, in the 4-2-2, play with both my left back and my right back on stay back while attacking, but I have the run type on overlap, so that if they do get forward, which they won't 99% of the time, but if they do, it will be on the overlap down that right hand side, and that is exactly the same on my left back as well. Stay back while attacking and then overlap on the left back. Both of my centre backs, though, YouTube, are on completely default settings, so I don't touch the player instructions. Stay back while attacking, normal interceptions, and stick to position. And then last but not least, my goalkeeper comes for crosses and sweeper keeper. That right there, YouTube, is my brand new updated 4-2-2 custom tactics for you. If you did enjoy this video, you know what to do. Drop a like for me, drop a comment down below, and if you can hit that subscribe button to my channel, that would mean the world to me. Peace out. One love.